Hey guys, hello and welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar and today we're going to be doing something a tad different. A weapon shootout or comparison, whatever you guys want to call it. Now all of these type of videos are inherently biased to some degree. I will try to maintain objectivity, but again I'm only human, so let's start comparing these two puppies. The Prisma Twin Gremlins versus the Akstiletto Primes. Now, needless to say, both of these secondary weapons are absolutely fantastic. You can't exactly go wrong with one or the other, but I'm sure there's a lot of you guys wondering which one is better for me if you don't have unlimited resources and all whatnot. So let's start by comparing the stats. The Twin Gremlins and the Stiletto Prime. Accuracy 36.4 versus 23.5. Now, while the accuracy is better for the twins, the Akstiletto Prime does have the advantage simply because this is a hit scan weapon, whereas the Prisma Twin Gremlins are projectile based, and that is a huge advantage for the Akstiletto Prime. Critical chance 23% for the twins and 15% for the primes. There is a pretty big gap there. If you're looking more into crit weapons, then you should go, from my point of view, with the Twin Gremlins from the start. Crit multi, pretty similar, 1.9x versus 2.0x respectively. Now this one is pretty much the same, and keep in mind that this stat screen that you're seeing right now in the lower right hand side of the display is not affected by equipped mods, okay? Not here, at least. Fire rate 8.8 with 7.08. Once again, better fire rate for the Prisma Twin Gremlins, and they also have a much larger magazine size, 70 versus 40. They're both alarming, and the reload, once again, quicker on the Twin Gremlins. Basically, with the Twin Gremlins, you play like you would play with something like the Axomati or maybe even the Dex Furies. You simply bombard your target with a lot of bullets, or in this case, projectiles. Once again, this being a projectile-based weapon. Status chance 23% for the twins and 30% for the primes. Needless to say, the Stiletto Primes have a big advantage here. Trigger auto on both, and the damage. This is kind of where things even out, because up until this point you might say, okay, the Twin Gremlins are a lot better if you don't take into account the projectile based thing. But you will see that the Akstiletto Prime, bullet for bullet, will deal a whole lot more damage than the Prisma Twin Gremlins. So let's start off with the twins. We're going to be making two very similar builds for both, and we're not going to be testing Rivens because there's a big disadvantage there. However, in our conclusion, we will factor in Riven disposition because, once again, that is a pretty big thing. This will be a standard corrosive setup. We're going to be testing two builds per weapon, one a standard elemental corrosive setup and one a slash build. Hornet Strike, Battle Diffusion, Lethal Touring, Prime Pistol Gambit, Prime Target Cracker, Pistol Pestilence and Jolt to form corrosive and increase that status chance, and Pathogen Rounds to increase the amount of corrosive on the weapon so we get the procs that we want. Keep in mind the IPS rules. Yes, 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 yes. Alright, so let's spawn in some targets. Level 120, and we got Ancient Healer, Elite Crewman, and Corrupted Heavy Gunner. I thought representatives from each faction should do it. So let's see what kind of damage we're looking at. First with the Twin Gremlins. Of course, the Ancient Healers are a non-threat, as you can see, but when it comes to the Corrupted Heavy Gunners, these will die a whole lot harder. By this point, it should be known to you that the toughest targets in Warframe are the Grineer, which is usually why I mod my weapons for them, and you should as well. Wait, what the hell? Oh yeah, there's when using projectile weapons, you see sometimes you run into this invisible wall in the simulacrum where the former enemy used to stand, so bear that one in mind. See, this guy will disappear, and then if I hit from the front, I'm gonna hit an invisible wall. The weapon does a whole lot of damage, and it's fully capable of shredding through high-level targets like nobody's business, but it does have one issue that does not plague the stilettos: ammo. Yes, ammo is an issue. Of course, this one can be fixed. You can equip the prime pistol ammo mutation, but then the stilettos don't need it, so you can just refer to something like carrier and ammo case. Of course, these guys are non-threat. Even though I have not built specifically against Corpus, the weapon is fully capable of completely annihilating them. Now, let's have a look at the Stiletto Primes. For the longest time, this weapon was everybody's favorite, right? It's simply that powerful, and it's not just about raw power. It never really is. It's about usability. It's about how easy and how comfortable you can use a weapon. So once again, the same build as with the Twin Gremlins, it should perform quite well. Let's try it out and see what we got. Same targets as before, level 120. Ancient Healers, keep in mind that they do take extra damage from corrosive. Absolutely bloody murder, just like before. And again, this is hit scan, so When it comes to actual gameplay scenarios, it's gonna be a lot easier to aim. Quick reload, plenty of bullets, awesome fire rate. What more can you want than something like this? The kill time is similar. If you guys were to open up a spreadsheet and make a graph and see exactly what is the time, what's the kill time between the two weapons, you would see that it's rather similar, and it's gonna depend on status chance and so on and so forth, what procs you getting when. As for the Corpus, once again a non-threat, which is why I usually don't really test against Corpus. Corpus are tricky because of the abilities they have, for the most part. A little bit of crowd control against them will help you a lot, so bear that one in mind. Both weapons perform fantastically well. Now we're gonna switch to a bleed build, which is similar between both of the weapons, which is one of the reasons I decided to put these two together. First, we're gonna be making viral damage with Frostbite and Pistol Pestilence. We're gonna increase the status chance on the Stiletto Primes because your slashes will be coming through the weapon's innate slash value, which is why we have main, to put the slash value over the impact value. When it comes to the damage department, as you saw earlier, the problem with the stilettos is that they have a lot of impact, and nobody wants to see impact procs or puncture procs. Everybody wants to see slash procs when it comes to the IPS. So there you go. First, the Stiletto Primes. Level 120s once again. Of course, a slash-based build is not going to destroy the target as fast as a direct elemental. Usually you need to hit a target till about 50% HP, then let the slashes in combination with the viral proc deal the damage, but you get certain cases like this. Simply because the value of the slashes are simply not all that high, you might get the viral proc slipping off the target before it bleeds out. Of course, the Corrupted Heavy Gunner are the ideal target to showcase this on, as these guys, well, they're just simply gonna die way too fast for me. Why would I stop firing? Would you stop firing in a normal average everyday mission? You might, depending on the level. For example, you're taking too much damage, you're gonna fire to about 50%, then head for the hills just to get some damage mitigation going and all whatnot. As you can see, a bleed build is not exactly fantastic, but it can definitely work, and a bleed build, because of how bleeds work and all whatnot, will help you when it comes to higher level content. So bear that one in mind. As for the Corpus, I don't even know why you shoot these guys anymore, honestly. I mean, look. Of course, the slash will bypass the shield and all whatnot and deal damage directly to the enemy's health. If you want to build against Corpus directly, if that's not enough for you, then you can do something like Gas or Toxin. It would be even better. That's pretty much it for the stilettos. Let's see if the Prisma Twin Gremlins can do a bit better with the exact same build. Again, the architecture of the two weapons is pretty similar, so these would be the builds that you would use if you want to go one way or the other. Link in the cards right now if you guys want to see a full review on each of the weapons. They're both absolutely fantastic. So once again, Pistol Pestilence with Frostbite and Maim to increase the slash value. As you can see on the twins, the impact value is a lot lower, but on the other hand, the puncture value is a lot higher. More puncture procs, well, nobody wants to see those either. Once again, we want to see slash in combination with viral. Oh, and by the way, Loki doesn't have an actual build, so he's not skewing the test results in any way. Of course, we're gonna be able to cut through Ancient Healer like a hot knife through butter. Now, these guys are a lot more impressive or dangerous, let's say, when they're in a group with their infested buddies, but all alone like this, they're not much of a threat. A lot more projectiles for the Corrupted Heavy Gunners, and we getting consistent slashes on the target and consistent viral procs with both weapons. And you're seeing the slash value of 480 on a high. That is because we got a higher critical chance. That means that the critical multiplier comes into play a whole lot more often, therefore higher value slashes. If you want to fully understand how critical chance and critical damage work in Warframe, link in the cards right now. And I think it's safe to assume that on screen right now for you guys, the Prisma Twin Gremlins might look a whole lot more impressive than the Akstiletto Primes. And I knew that from the spreadsheets, but what a spreadsheet won't tell you is that this is an ideal situation. I'm hitting standing still targets with a projectile based weapon, so of course I'm going to be able to land consistent shots and all whatnot. But in an actual gameplay scenarios, your targets are not going to be standing still. We're going to unpause the targets, but this is a pretty subjective topic. What Warframe are you using? What abilities? Do you have some crowd control? Are you going to use Mag Bubble to simply cheat the whole aiming thing? But again, let's go at it a bit more realistic, so we're going to be unpausing these high level targets. An issue with it is that they're gonna start fighting each other, and let's put ourselves in a more realistic aiming situation, not fully realistic situation, but at least for aiming this target is moving, so therefore I gotta lead it a little bit, and I'm not hitting it directly from the front, I'm hitting it from the side. They're gonna use their abilities. For example, the corrupted heavy gunners have that stupid AoE, which will mean they will duck and you will miss a whole lot of your shots on the target. It's simply a lot more difficult to aim with a projectile based weapon than it is with a hit scan weapon, so keep that one in mind. Riven disposition, 5 out of 5 for the fantastic Prisma Twin Gremlins. As for the Akstiletto Primes, you're looking at only 1 out of 5, so once again here the edge goes to the Prisma Twin Gremlins. Prices we're not really gonna discuss, we're just talking power here. I don't really recommend Rivens for Dispo 1 weapons, as from my point of view they're simply not worth it, they don't make a big enough impact. But what I'm trying to get at is that when it comes to usability, when it comes to actual gameplay performance, from my point of view, the Prisma Twin Gremlins fall short of the Akstiletto Primes, not take into account abilities, okay? Mag Bubble and you cheated the whole aiming thing and all whatnot. One more time on Pause the Eye and we're gonna summarize. Now I'm fully aware that a lot of you guys simply come to these comparison or versus vids in the hope of finding a winner. Which is better? Which should I get and which is the more powerful weapon? Pound for pound, the Prisma Twin Gremlins are simply more powerful, end of story. However, when it comes to actual gameplay performance, you're gonna be better served by a hit scan weapon like the Akstiletto Primes. It's simply a lot easier to aim and it's a lot simpler to get consistent shots on your target. Take a look at it another way. It doesn't matter if your weapon deals 5 trillion damage if you're not gonna land the shot. So there is that to take into account. Riven disposition also plays a pretty big factor in weapons. 5 out of 5 will make a huge difference, whereas 1 out of 5 won't really make that big of a difference, and honestly they're simply not worth it. Both of these weapons are absolutely fantastic. You're gonna get great results with both of them. They're recognized as being as some of the most powerful secondary weapons in the game. So if you're Mr. Pro and you don't have a problem with aiming, or if you want to use Mag to cheat with the whole aiming thing and use her bubble, then go for the Prisma Twin Gremlins. But for more general gameplay situations, I would go for the Akstiletto Primes. And that's pretty much gonna do it, folks. This is a brand new format, so it has some rough edges. If you got any feedback for me, by all means let me know in the comment section down below. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you got any more comparisons that you would like me to do, by all means let me know in the comment section down below. I will be reading through each and every comment. You can also find me on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all the usual places. Until next time, my friends. Bye bye.